Hello. Okay, so I am rounding things up with a bit of failure from the book publishing side, which I hate to say, but I'm in marketing. It's very difficult for me to talk about failing. Where's that little clicker?
I took the clicker.
I took the clicker.
Sorry.
Okay, so would like to talk to you about a program called the MIT Press BITS. This was, BITS are extracted content from both classic and new MIT Press books. So basically, a few years ago, there were lots of publishers getting into this space, publishing short content. You might remember Penguin Shorts, Random House, Story Cuts, Princeton Short Series, Stanford University Press Briefs. I don't think Susan Donnelly got in the game at Harvard. She was the smart one. At any rate, so our answer to this was the MIT Press BITS. So originally they were priced at between $2.99 and $4.99. We sold them only in e-format. We made a decision to promote them via topic, so that we had the chance to create some quirky, fun topics that we could promote as a whole versus promoting individual bits. So we did actually do some research prior to going down the path of the program. We felt very, very strongly, as I said, that they should be curated by topic, so that was a done deal in our minds. We thought that it would be pretty easy to pull out. I mean, as you can imagine, the MIT Press has a long, rich backlist, and so there was not going to be a shortage of content. The one thing that we thought early on was that we would need somebody who could really own this in-house, and that was our first failure because we didn't really have anybody to own it in-house, one person at least. You know, it was everybody's sort of part-time job. So regarding the research, I'll just briefly, as I said, we did do research. We put out a survey about testing the concept, testing the pricing schema, right? Did this make sense? The overall idea, does anybody want to read short excerpts of content? 1,500 participants, which was great. At the MIT Press, there's no shortage of people interested in helping to give feedback, and they all said, yes, do it, you should do this, So we were like, great, 1,365 people responded in 2 days telling us we should do this. So, we did it. So I think, the thing that we should have recognized probably earliest on was that getting this done required a huge amount of resources internally, lots of people from different departments. So, there are 4 people from marketing, sales, copywriting, digital initiatives, production, permissions, editorial design, rights, and accounting. There was at least one person from all of those departments, and in some cases more than one. So basically the goal, after we looked at the research, met as a team initially, we decided that we wanted to go big. So we were going to publish, yeah, smart move, 50 bits out of the gate, which is a lot. We saw Princeton only did 4, and we thought, no, we're going to do 50. So, so basically, we wanted to set ourselves apart from what other UPs were doing. We determined ultimately that the goal of the project was to drive sales of the core book. So the $2.99 didn't mean that much. It was more about getting people interested in the content, reading a bit, and then buying the core book. So we, as I said, we kind of created the whole thing around these fun topics. And then we went to task working. So the thing that took the most time initially was, so if we had 10 topics out of the gate, identifying the books that we had digital content for, that we had, we had the right, that we had digital files for, first of all, and then a mix of classic books and new books and that sort of thing. So that took a long, long time, and it was, asking editors to help. It was, the head of publicity took it on. She's great. She knows the backlist really well, but it was, it was tough. It's a lot of work. The other thing that was very important is we wanted to have a beautiful design aesthetic. We saw that some of the competitors had, if you're looking at short content excerpted content on one page, all of the quote-unquote covers look the same, and so we felt pretty strongly that we didn't want that to be the case. One of the goals we were hoping that people would land on the bits page, see all 50, and start, like a buffet, picking, ooh, I want to read about Buddhism today, and tomorrow I'm going to read about psychoanalysis. And so because of that, because we had this intention of drawing people to that page, we didn't want all of the bits to look the same. So we asked the designer to come up with some great design ideas. The first thing that we wanted her to do was create a beautiful logo, because again, we were promoting the bits concept. So she took our iconic MIT Press colophon and turned it into the bits logo. And then she took the bits logo and turned it into the covers of each individual bit. So it was basically this. The other thing we felt that it was important was to refer back to the core book. So those images that are at the top of each bit cover are zoomed in pieces of the core book. So beautiful, right? I mean, she did an amazing job. Then, as we were working on design, the production folks were, in the background working on the production, which was difficult. We had to answer questions like, do they need a cover page? Do they need an ISBN? What should be on the cover page? How do you title them, right? Should they be, what we landed on was a bit of the core book, and then the title of the actual, but then we needed a title of the actual bit because it was getting confusing. Anyway, on and on and on. So this is what the initial, the landing page looked like. I mean, it's not doing justice here. It was gorgeous. It was beautiful. We were ready. We were excited. We were raring to go. Launch plans, huge, spent a ton of money advertising. We advertised on the Boston subway red line between Cambridge and Boston. I mean, we went insane. And the authors loved it. They were excited. We were getting Steven Pinker excited about this. And, they were tweeting and they were helping us, and it was fabulous. And then reality hit. And while I don't exactly call it a total failure, because I think that we learned a ton. We got people from very disparate areas of the organization working together, which was cool. We'd never done that before. We learned how to create a new workflow in-house, which we had never done before. That was probably the most difficult part of all of it. But the fail was, we didn't drive additional sales to the core books. We sold a total of, less than 1,000 bits in a year. And at $2.99 each, it was definitely not worth getting those 21 people involved. So, again, I think we all feel this way in-house. We learned a lot. And so toward the end of the process, we decided to make the bits available for free. So now you can go and read to your heart's content, because they're all free. We took them off Amazon, we took them off Nook, and they're just on our site. And it gets a fair amount of traffic because they're free. But at any rate, I think, had we, a chance to do it over again, we won't ever. What we will do... what we will do, though, is share excerpted content on our site, which is, of course, a very good thing to do. Okay, thanks very much.